concerns about what's going on with the river. River has obviously dropped down here according to reports, and it seems to be the case when you look at it too. So first thing I'm going to do is I need to get a tweet out to let people know that we are about to stream, or that we are now streaming. So please stand by. This is Mark Horner. I'll be live in just, well, you are live. I'll be giving some narration and reporting in just a moment. Please stand by. We have viewers coming in. We do. Looks like we have 12 people in now, so I'll begin sharing some information. Okay, so make sure I'm in the shot. Okay. Hi, folks. This is Mark Horner, Beyond90seconds.com, and I'm here along the North Fork of the Stillaguamish River, probably less than 5 miles downriver from where the mudslide happened late this morning, right near Oso, which is just west of Darrington. We've been streaming to you throughout much of the day from here regarding this tragedy, which apparently has claimed at least 2 lives. But now we're downriver, and there's a lot of concern about the North Fork of the Stillaguamish River right now because of the block that the mudslide has effectively occurred. You are probably reading tweets, you are probably hearing and watching reports talking about just how far up or down the water is downriver here on the North Fork of the Stillaguamish River. Well, I want to tell you right now where I am standing. Maybe I've got my brother here helping me out with the camera actually at this moment. Steve, if you could go ahead and tilt down, right all the way down to my feet, and let's show them what we're talking about here. This is wet, folks, freshly wet, and what I suspect is happening here is prior to that mudslide, we had a river flowing right here, but right now it's just wet sand, and that extends behind us right up another 30 feet to where the actual bank rises. So from here, all wet, and then this river. Now, I don't live here locally. I live in a different part of Stillaguamish County, but I do come here on a fair enough basis to see bald eagles, do photography, and I'm used to seeing rivers move in this area, even when rivers are low. But that's not what's really happening so much right here, right now. I want to show you what the North Fork of the Stillaguamish River, which is obviously down because we're standing on the wet ground here where there was river this morning. I want to show you what it looks like here. I'm by the old railroad bridge, which is just parallel to SR 530. So let me move the camera, Steve. You don't mind grabbing my hat down there? Thanks. This river looks chalky gray. This river is not fast moving. Its top, if you will, the surface area, is just merely rippling with the light breeze that swirls over it right now. Speaking of swirling, if I go just to the right of this bridge, boy, this is going to be difficult to show without zooming in, and I can't zoom in with the iPhone. But can you distinguish where just beyond the halfway, almost all the way across, there's a change in the surface, the way it looks? That's all shredded timber. Now, I don't know for a fact that that came from the mudslide location, but it seems quite probable and possible. But again, this is a chalky gray river at this moment. And for those of you who live in the area, pardon me for bumping the tripod, if we look at the old railroad bridge, folks who live in this area know what this river is supposed to look like, how it behaves. And yeah, it had been running low recently, but it's gone down today. There's debris just over there, and I'm going to try and get a little bit closer to that in a minute. And as I pan across, let me adjust the tripod. Folks, if you live here, maybe you come down and fish. Maybe you would know that it's unusual to see all of that exposed just up there. Let's go take a look. So again, we're probably not quite 5 miles downriver from when the mudslide happened, and this river is running low, lower than it was prior to the mudslide. It's quite evident because everything is wet that I'm standing on. The sandy, what should be riverbed, is now the sandy shore. Okay? It's a chalky gray looking river that in the immediate area just seems to swirl and be standing water. In the distance, there seems to be a bit more movement in a narrow channel. Okay, I'm going to move some more. I rather suspect that that would have been all underwater too. A lot of sand and a lot of boulders just beyond, on that high ground right in front of us, beyond this water. Now, just to give you a reference, since we're a little bit further back, this is what's referred to as the old railroad. It runs directly alongside SR 530. There are two separate bridges here, 530. A vehicle just passed over the 530 bridge, which is behind that old train bridge, probably by about 40, 50 feet. And then across the river, maybe you can see this debris. We're on a little higher ground right now, so maybe you can make out that debris right there. It looks like just a bunch of shredded sticks, kind of like toothpicks and large sticks, just kind of swirling. And that tells me, at least on the surface, that this river really isn't a flowing river. It's kind of a stagnant river at the moment. And reports are coming out that the river is low here with official measurements. So it's certainly supported, because again, let me just show you. I think this really helps illustrate the point, okay? Let's bring the camera around this way. We're looking upriver. Now, here's where the river meets the sand. But this sand is all wet. You can see our footprints. All of this appears to be wet sand and now drying out sand. It's all pretty much wet going to that high bank where the trees above it. But now it's wet. And I can't say for a fact, but I highly suspect that this area was underwater this morning. And then once the mudslide came down and blocked the river has been receding, and this is the result. And for those of you who are concerned, don't worry, we're not going to stay here much longer. We're going to get out of here, because we know that there are concerns about water escaping either one way or the other, one direction or the other, possibly this way, from that, what amounts to a sudden dam that was created by the landslide. I guess they're formally calling it a mudslide. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, that's not good. So that was not good, folks. That's what they mean by mud. I just stepped there, and I started to sink. Doesn't look all that bad, but trust me, I started to sink, and the sand began to crack, and everything kind of started moving forward. It was a very uneasy feeling beyond just, what you might think about walking casually through some mud. That was not that. So we're going to stay away from there and use proper judgment. We keep on hearing helicopters. I'm hearing another one. I saw an ambulance or a medic vehicle go by with sirens on. I think they're actually looking in this area to make sure nobody's doing what we're probably doing. So we will get out here shortly. See if I can spot that helicopter. I can. It's just through the trees there. Looks like it's a mostly white helicopter. I don't think it's a news helicopter. And off it goes. Yeah, that does not look like a news helicopter. Once again, this is Mark Horner, beyond90seconds.com. Probably less than 5 miles downriver from the mudslide in the Oso area. This is the North Fork of the Stillaguamish River, which has definitely been impacted by the mudslide. You've heard perhaps that the river's running low here now because the mudslide effectively dammed the river for the time being, and there are certainly concerns about the river somehow either spilling upstream or even downstream. And obviously we're downstream, so we need to be careful here and get out of here quickly soon. But I wanted to show you that yes, the banks are all wet, suggesting that this was underwater until the mudslide late this morning. This is the old railroad, which runs directly alongside SR 530. The river's running low, and there is what appears to be debris, and it is swirling in a pool, now stretching more than, I would say, halfway across the river. It seems to be coming more this way. And that stuff is just swirling. It's not floating away down a river as you would expect. And ladies and gentlemen, might I suggest that this river is normally quite clear, pristine, and even when it's running low, quite healthy. I come up here somewhat often to do some photography of bald eagles and such, and up towards Rockport, and this is not the way I'm used to seeing our river in this area. That doesn't look healthy at all. So I definitely think it's quite likely that you're seeing the result of the effect of the mudslide. So we're going to wrap it up here in just a moment, but I hope that you enjoyed this perspective. Once again, the North Fork of the Stillaguamish River, less than 5 miles downriver from the mudslide in the Oso area. You might hear the zipper from my jacket pocket as I'm getting a call. Yeah, this one can wait. But I want to thank you very much for watching this live stream. I do appreciate it. And stay safe, everybody. Mark Horner, beyond90seconds.com. Helicopter, I don't know that was the same one. Now higher up on the riverbank, for those of you who are still watching, and just kind of give you an idea here. I tilt up, perhaps you can make out that, for lack of a better term, debris area. It's just across the river, straight ahead. It begins, I'll just put my finger on it, it begins right there. And it's this area right here, which is nothing but a bunch of swirling, splintered